Hello everyone, my name is Gonalet Dio. I am a proud Indigenous member of the St. Regis Mohawk tribe up in Akwesasne, and I have been HIV positive since 2018. December 10th, 2018, I was diagnosed with AIDS. I had a CD4 count of 2 and a viral load of 1.7 million. Prior to a year of my diagnosis, I started developing symptoms, and I was scared. The first symptom that I developed is linked to HIV. So when I looked it up online, that was kind of my confirmation. So a year prior to my diagnosis, I started developing these symptoms and I was scared to go get tested. And my reasoning for that is my mother worked in the same doctor's office that I had my primary care. And I didn't want my mom finding out about my status because when I was younger, she told me a story of how she was in a room with a doctor and they diagnosed somebody who was only 17 years old with HIV. And to say the least, it scared my mother. So she comes home after that shift and she gathers me and my siblings and gives us a sexual health talk and telling us that it's scary and you should protect yourself. HIV was scary to me. I was really scared to learn about it because of all the stigma around it. And hearing that story from my mother about that patient scared me even more because I saw her reaction to how it affected her, and I didn't want to scare her. So I finally tell her. We go to St. Joseph's Hospital in my city, and that day they diagnosed me with opportunistic infections that are connected to having an AIDS diagnosis. So there's this thing that my family likes to do when we're in trouble. We all reach out to each other and we call them smoke signals. And so she sent out smoke signals to my extended family, and they all started arriving one by one. I'm in the hospital bed just waiting. They took many blood tests. It took several hours for them to finally get the diagnosis. So one by one, my family's coming in, and my uncle was the last one to walk in, and there's probably 15 people in that room, including myself. And I remember the doctor coming and saying, "Do you want me to tell you the results with everyone here?" And all I said was yes. And he said, "You are HIV positive." And immediately, my family caved in around me and started hugging me. I ended up staying in the hospital for a month. They started treating each infection that I had one by one. The first night was awful. I had developed AIDS pneumonia. That was really hard, especially with treatment. It does a lot to your body. So about a month later, they retested me again and they told me that my levels have gone down. So my viral load went from 1.7 million to 500, and then it kept going down after that. They started me on Biktarvy the first day right away, and Biktarvy saved my life. Having HIV, I've dealt with stigma. I've dealt with, people treating me different, including family members. They treated me different because they were scared of it. They didn't understand it. And dating was really hard. People tend to avoid you when you are positive. So I would find people that wanted to have a relationship with me, and it just turned into me finding validation in sex, and it was really hard. Sorry, y'all. So shortly after that, I struggled with substance abuse, and methamphetamine was my drug of choice, and I was addicted to that for about 2 years. During that time, I wanted a new beginning, and so I moved to New York City because a friend of mine told me about a program called HASA. It's an HIV benefit here in New York City, and that's kind of where everything manifested with drug use. And then after that, I've been sober for 4 years, and I haven't really been able to process having HIV due to having many big things happen in my life. The AIDS diagnosis, becoming a substance abuser, and then shortly after, we had a very devastating thing happen in my family, and I had a brother who was in a horrific car accident. So I had to put my issues aside and become that parental figure in my family, and I take care of him full time. My goal with being a part of HIV Stops With Me is I want to, in my city, and I didn't even say where I'm from. In my city, there aren't many resources that are in the forefront that are easily accessible for educating people about HIV. And my goal with HIV Stops With Me is I want to bring those to the forefront. I want to partner with all of the programs in my area to bring them back to the forefront, because it's so important for people to know their status and to know that, as scary as HIV can be, I've been at the worst of the worst. I was in the final stages of it. You can bounce back. You can go from AIDS to undetectable. And I want people to know that there's a place that they can go for support and to be treated.